Welcome to a new episode of the CIRAN podcast, reconciling two societal needs, resource extraction and nature conservation. We are Anita Stein and
Luís Rosendo.
And together with our invited experts, we are exploring how Europe balances resource extraction and nature conservation during the energy and environmental transitions. CIRAN is more than a podcast. It's a project funded by the European Union. Today, our focus is on regulatory challenges and political pressures in European mining. Issues that are crucial not only in the actual geopolitical context, but also for the dynamics of the green and energy European agendas.
And to help us understand the challenges behind these topics, we have with us Mr. Mika Riipi, a member of the Parliament of Finland and the former Lapland Regional Governor. In his previous work, he has been extensively involved in mining and mineral issues. So, thank you so much for being with us, Mika. In your perspective, how critical raw materials to Europe's future as a global innovation leader?
Well, first of all, thank you for invitation. My pleasure to be here, and that's a quite hot topic nowadays in the Europe. I believe that the situation is quite critical if you think about the geopolitical situation right now, and the self-sufficiency and the goals that we have in order to have the raw materials. I think that the goals are quite ambitious. They are 20 to 30% depending on the raw material, but I think that they are achievable. But of course, if you think about the whole situation and the global market and the total demand of those raw materials in European industry, I think that besides opening up new extraction, we need to focus also on good trade policy and also on material efficiency. And I think that, for example, focus on circular economy in the future should be in high focus.
Thank you. So, to follow up on this, perhaps, do you think that Europe is prepared to compete also at the global level, while at the same time maintaining sustainable supplies of raw materials?
Well, I think that it's a difficult question. Well, you know that in the Europe we have high standards on sustainability and on environmental issues, and same time we know that in different places, for example in the Africa, the demands aren't so high. So I think that from the competitiveness point of view, we have challenges here in the Europe. But in the same time, I think that we should be focusing in our own work, not to look what's happening in the other places. And also, I think that we have some sort of a momentum here. For example, innovating new environmental friendly and sustainable methods of extraction or processing minerals. Those can be quite good export products that we can sort of sell to different places that aren't so high demand. So I think that we have a lot of possibilities in that field also.
Okay, thank you. Comparing with other countries, do you think that European regulations may affect the viability of mining projects today?
Well, as I said, I think that our current regulations, both from the environmental point of view and from the social sustainability point of view, they are quite high. And in a way, yes, they can be sort of they can be seen as an obstacle. But I think that we shouldn't let those things sort of be a restriction, and we should see in Europe those as a strength. And of course, we need quite much about discussion that how can we speed up the permission process, and for example, how can we find out new ways to innovate, for example, more environmental friendly way to utilize the side streams and so on. But I think that we should see this high level of demand, of regulation as a strength, and find out to speed up the processes, but not letting the level of this down, because in the end it's also a question about the pure nature of European countries, and it's a high value of itself.
Thank you. You were talking about the strengths, and then if we look a bit into the challenges, what are, according to you, the biggest political pressures that are shaping mining activities in Europe?
Well, I think that the main question here in Finland, and I believe that it's in many countries in all over the Europe, is the question about the social acceptance, local acceptance, and it creates a political pressure both in the local level, but also in the governmental level. And the big challenge now is, of course, that we have these European Union-wide goals, and we have a Critical Raw Materials Act, which is sort of a European Union level policy. But the implementation is always on national level and is always in the local level. So from my perspective, the key is actually the local level acceptance. And I know that the legislation varies quite much in different countries in the Europe. But for example, here in Finland, we have to have a municipal council's decision that the mine can be opened in the end. So here we focus a lot about the social acceptance, and even when the exploration starts, even years before the mine is opened, the dialogue between the local people starts, and I think that that's the key in different places. Early enough dialogue with the local people, getting facts clear out, and answering honestly to every question that the people have towards the project, and that clears also the political pressure quite effectively.
Okay. And do you think, in that context, you already mentioned the Critical Raw Materials Act, but do you think it will effectively address the challenges that Europe is facing?
Well, I think that it's important in a way that it highlights the situation in the European Union. It creates the awareness that we are lacking the self-sufficiency, and we are very much dependent on countries that we won't want to be dependent. And there are also elements that actually are quite effective, especially in the field of the permitting process, because we know that this is a huge challenge, the length of the permitting process in different parts of Europe, and selecting the critical projects, highlighting them, and building up the pipeline for permitting process for those is very important. But in the same time, how I see it, I would like to see also sort of a same kind of a pipeline in an innovation policy concerning the utilization of those critical raw materials. As I mentioned, we should be focusing on new innovations, how to mine more environmental friendly, how to mine more, for example, energy efficiency point of view, for example, how to process those minerals, and same time how the logistics of those minerals should be arranged more environmental friendly. And we should have a sort of a pipeline also on funding those issues. Now I'm talking from the perspective of the Lapland, and we have quite big distances up here, and of course I think that we should be also having a policy where the mines are. We should also focus on how to process those mines as close as it's possible inside the European Union of those mines, because that also sort of increases the social acceptance, so that there aren't no places inside the European Union that there's only the mine and all the minerals are moved away to some place. So I think that Critical Raw Materials Act is a good start, but I would like to see more holistic approach on different sides of the mining and processing of the mines, and also the innovations that are concerned to mining in the future.
Thank you. So, following up on the publication of the Draghi report last year, the EU has published earlier this year the competitiveness compass. And I was wondering, according to you, which kind of trade-offs should policymakers navigate between this industrial competitiveness on the one hand and sustainability goals on the other hand?
Yeah. I think that the Draghi report was quite interesting if you think about the critical raw materials and the industry related to that, because from Draghi report's perspective, we should absolutely not be focusing only on the extraction side, but also all the ecosystem built on the mining sector. And how we can promote the research and innovation policy on those new projects. We know that the companies that usually open up a mine, they are quite big global mining companies. But the interesting point of view, I think, from the competitiveness point of view, is what kind of an ecosystem we can build around those investments, and is there a possibility to boost innovations, for example, a more sustainable way to drill, or to explore, or to utilize the side streams? Is there possibilities to utilize the side streams for new products, and so forth? And I think that the research is actually one of the key elements on that, and I hope that in the future we should also push funding on the mining and extraction research in different universities. We have 2 universities here up north, and I know that there are many technical universities in all over the Europe, and maybe specialized funding for those universities in innovation policy concerning the new innovations in the raw material industry. It could be one good push up for getting more value from the industry itself.
If you allow me to make an interim question following what you said, since Europe will be depending on other countries also to have to have other critical raw materials. Do you think that innovation you mentioned could be also um, something that Europe can trade off with those countries?
Yes, of course. I've seen a lot of examples actually here from Lapland. We have now 3 operating mines here, and in the different phases of permitting process, there are actually 8 new mines. And within these 3 operating mines, there are a lot of companies that are working on those mines, and few of them actually already are exporting their know-how into, for example, to South America, to Australia, and etc. And one, for example, is focused on sustainable drilling technology. It can drill anywhere without any traces, and I think that this kind of innovations and new technologies in all the levels of from the exploration to the mining into the processing of the minerals, we can boost up technologies that are sustainable and can be exported. It can create a new business opportunities to European companies.
Yeah. Then perhaps to close this episode of the podcast, could you share with us a kind of a success story of political collaboration and the implementation of mining projects in Europe?
Well, of course, I have to highlight. I've highlighted this many times in different places, but it comes from here, from Lapland, and it's the Kittilä Suurikuusikko mine, which is the currently Europe biggest gold mine. Gold isn't the strategical raw material, but in the side streams of that mine, there are critical minerals, and of course, gold itself in these days is a valuable metal. But Kittilä is in a way a great example of combining different things. It's located only 15 kilometers from one of the biggest tourism resorts here in Lapland. And there are no contradictions between the mine and the tourist resorts. Actually, there are a lot of synergies. For example, if you think about the labor, the jobs that in that municipality have, many times they are gender based, and many women, they work in the tourism industry, and many men work in the mine. So the combination of these two brand of industries, they create possibilities for families to stay in the area. And also, I have to say that they have combined also, for example, straight products. The tourist companies in Kittilä area, they are selling actually possibility to visit in the mine and go deep down in the 1 kilometer as a one product, and the mining company and the tourist companies, they collaborate very much. And the local acceptance is great, and actually from the history, there hasn't been any big problems about the overall acceptance. So I think that this is one of those examples, and in a way I think that in the future we should be focusing especially on those synergies. When opening up a new mine, we should be focusing that how this mine can collaborate with the other brand of industries that are working. Is there synergies? And if there is, then focus on them, because that creates a lot of acceptance, and I believe that overall good also in those areas.
Sorry, before finishing, one last question about what you said. And when the mining was being setting up, when the project started, there were too many people saying talking against the mine, or it was a more pacific process?
The mine itself started about 10 years ago, and they have actually sort of widened the project, so they are mining now even more than from the start. And the biggest discussion in the early on was on waste management, and especially the purity of the wastewater that came out from the mine. But it hasn't been a big discussion now on, and the main reason is that the data they are measuring the wastewater sort of what's in it quite effectively, and they are opening up every measurement, so that clears out the discussion that there might be any problems. So I must say that those companies that highlight the openness and highlight the sort of honesty in their processes, I think that those companies are successful, and they can rely on the social acceptance. But it must be clear that the openness must be sort of a total. Nothing can be out of sort of a table, out of told, and that's important.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your insights.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. My pleasure.
This episode was brought to you by CIRAN. CIRAN is an EU-funded project that is investigating how to balance resource extraction and nature conservation.